Asa Newell. Roy, one of the best freshmen in all of college basketball, destined to be a first-round pick, a rugged interior guy. It's an Arkansas team right now that's down to 8 scholarship guys. That's all they're going to play tonight. They've got to find a way also take care of the basketball. Boogie Flan, great ball security, only 4 turnovers in 5 SEC games.
Just about set, ready to go. It's already been a wild evening in the SEC. South Carolina led for 39 minutes and 59 seconds before falling essentially at the buzzer at home against Florida. Let's see what's in store tonight here in the natural state. Georgia with the opening possession in the road black uniforms.
It's a Georgia team that only makes 5 3-point shots a game in conference play, 25%. They are rugged in the paint around the rim.
On cue, R.J. Godfrey, the Clemson transfer.
Yeah, if you can't guard the paint tonight, it's going to be tough sledding for Arkansas.
Razorbacks, Ellie Davis in the starting lineup. His first start in SEC play and his first not in the starting 5 since back to mid-December. And we will see, as Coach mentioned, DJ Wagner running the point. He's got it now with no Boogie Flan for the foreseeable future. And a turnover and swiped away. Newell comes away with it. Dogs with Blue Cane. He went on an 8-0 run by himself in the second half, and that near comeback against #1 Auburn on Saturday. Game that came down to the wire. Georgia had its chances and came up just short. Timer down to 8. And Tyron Lawrence. The crossover and the floater.
And Tyron Lawrence, he has that. He's a straight line driver and really good with a floater game. And you mentioned Nelly Davis for Arkansas. You look back at his career at FAU, and the more shots he took, the higher percentage that he shot. And this kid right here, #1 in white, has got to step up with the absence of Boogie Flan.
Too strong off the glass. We watched shoot around earlier today, and Coach Cal was telling Davis, hey, shoot the 3. You're 40% from there. If you're open, I don't care where it is in the shot clock. Shoot the 3. We'll see if it happens more tonight.
Well, it's an Arkansas team averaging, 64 points a game in conference play. They just have not found an offensive rhythm so far.
And foul called. Mike White, year #3. Bulldogs off of that 14-4 start, 2-3 in the SEC. And well, they played 5 straight ranked opponents to begin the SEC campaign. And it's funny, you can say that about a lot of teams in the league this year, right? There's going to be stretches that are impossible.
Yeah, it is. Just ranked team after ranked team. Where does Georgia hang their hat and make their money? The defensive end of the floor. They're the number 16 defensive team in the country in terms of defensive efficiency.
Done a decent job on the boards this season as well. Wagner, whip it outside. Thero from downtown. Hawks still scoreless, nearly 2.5 minutes in. Adu picks up Godfrey inside. Jonas clears it.
Good job by Adu to throw up a wall and not come down with his arms, avoid the contact.
Adu left open. In and out, the jam. Thero comes in.
That ball was not off the cylinder from our perspective. I know the official was right there underneath it. Mike White calling for the same thing.
Newell, top of the key, off the mark.
That's the question mark I have for Asa Newell. He was a first-round draft pick. How well he shoots that 3-point ball will determine how high he goes in the next draft.
Jimmy, we got him at 32% coming in. The left-handed release.
It just doesn't always look smooth, though, coming off that shot side of his body. You and I watched him today, but, man, a phenomenal kid, phenomenal athlete for his size.
Adu had the clear out. They're going to call a jump ball. As Adu hit the deck, it'll stay with the Hawks.
I don't know if we'll be able to see from this angle, but any part of that ball is still above the cylinder. And it was right there close. This angle is always tough to judge by. But, boy, from what we see there, a good portion of that ball was still above the cylinder.
Thero triple teamed and had it blocked at the last minute by Godfrey. Here comes Blue Cane the other way.
Yeah,
and from distance.
That's his money shot. In rhythm and transition, Blue Cane not shooting a super high percentage, but that's what he excels in. And you've got to find him quickly in transition.
I think if you talk to Mike White, he thinks at some point this year that 3 is going to fall.
Yeah.
A little more consistency for Mr. Cane.
Well, over half of his shot attempts, talking about 0 in black, on the year have been from the three-point line. So a little bit of a specialist on the offensive end. Make him do something off the bounce if you're Arkansas tonight.
And you notice he's a little more aerodynamic this year with a haircut going back to last season. Mike White takes full credit there.
Yeah.
He said, that's good coaching. He said, yeah, you can go ahead and cut the hair, and that'll make you a little faster. Kane the rebound. Well, how about that Florida-South Carolina game, too? I don't know that many of us saw that coming, that Gamecocks would challenge the Gators at that point. Bodies tumbling everywhere ahead to Thero, who lays it in.
Man, Roy, what a beautiful pass. About 60 feet right in front of Arkansas to quickly get that thing to the rim. That was exceptional.
It feels like Arkansas getting easy buckets, not necessarily early, but consistently try to improve the scoring with no Boogie Flan would be critical tonight. Thero, nice box out against Newell. Outside to Carter Knox.
And just missing open jump shots. And DJ Wagner takes that point guard spot tonight in the absence of Flan. Remember, he was a starting point guard at Kentucky under Calipari a year ago, so he's back to his natural spot.
Off the knee of Newell, out of bounds. And let's see.
And talk about DJ Wagner's ability to run an offense and be a lead guard. Look at this pass. That thing covers about 60 feet right on the money to do Thero. Arkansas's got to find some half-court offense, though.
And it's easier said than done.
Well, he goes big right now. Big Z comes in at the 5, Brazil at the 4, and now Adu Thero slides to the 3. That's an awfully big lineup that Cal puts on the floor at the first media timeout.
Ivisic on the floor. Svanamir. And he will defend Surreal. Pushing them back, and that's going to go against Davis.
Yeah, that's an easy call. I mean, you wrap your arms around and right out front in the eyes of both the lead and the middle official. I love Nelly Davis, though. He's always got a joyful spirit about him. Comes right over at shoot-arounds, talks a lot. Told me today that he's in a good spot. He's in a good spirit. Feels like his game's going to turn the corner.
Cal talking in shoot-around today said, yeah, we're going to get you a couple of more shots. But Demery had a wide-open layup, missed it. Didn't even shoot it. And contact. Dakota LeFew going to pick up the personal.
Yeah, you're right. Silas Demery right at the rim, and good quick defensive fast hands by Wagner to get the swipe from behind. It's a rebounding game in the eyes of Arkansas tonight. Georgia, you heard the guys in the studio talking about how good they are on the offensive glass.
Davis open from the wing. That's been his spot. Not this time. LeFew controls.
Take every one of those if you're Nelly Davis. Every single one of them. And to your point, Cal told him this spot right here, that high slot 45, he's shooting 40% from 3 on the year.
Trevin Brazil on the floor. He'll defend Newell. LeFew, the mid-range. Here comes DJ Wagner. Brazil in the air for a minute, lays it up with a scoop shot.
Very athletic, right, for a 6'10" kid in transition.
LeFew saves it over to Kane, and the 3 rolls home.
Well, that's great discipline by Georgia in their transition to always find and fill that backside corner. And Georgia's so alert to quickly reverse that basketball along that baseline.
Blue Kane looks like a different player this year with his confidence, and mentioned that run he went on against Auburn on Saturday. 8-0 by himself in the second half in that attempted comeback.
It's amazing. Nelly Davis was an 18-point scorer last year at Florida Atlantic, and every shot comes off, looks good. You just cannot find the bottom right now.
They just keep waiting for him to have one of those big games. And Newell And we bump from behind. Wagner was inside, picks up the first.
Yeah, Arkansas got caught in that 1-3-4 switch and put Wagner in a bad spot. That's what I'm talking about with Brazil out in front of it. Arkansas, Roy, they're going to have to score off their defense in this game. The half-court offensive flow without Boogie playing, only 2 days of practice, not real smooth right now. Can they get stops, clean that defensive glass, and score in conversion offense? A big, big part of this game.
Bullhead to the bench. Only attempted 1 shot thus far. Leading scorer for the Dogs. Kane lost the handle. Hit the hardwood outside. That's a 3, and it's short. A few off the mark. Kane, the rebound. He got smacked afterwards.
You know, but Blue Kane is a tough customer. A very good offensive rebounding guard at 6'4".
How much fun was that to watch Stegman Coliseum with all the literal Blue Canes against Auburn, waving them around in the stands.
And Mike White's done an unreal job of igniting that fan base, especially the student section. And I'm talking about with Blue Kane, just has a nose for the ball, crafty, reads the ball well in the air. And he'll get you 2 or 3 offensive rebounds a game from that 2-guard spot.
Demery checks out. And Shane Montgomery on the floor.
Blue Kane, great name, right? Like for dog food, like Blue Kane.
I didn't know if you were going to say that on the air, but yes.
Anything like that. You just got a brand that's just waiting to happen.
Euro pass to Brazil. They'll draw the double team outside to Wagner. Timer down to 8. Brazil in and out. The lid remains on from distance.
Arkansas can't get offensive sensitive. The shots aren't falling yet. They've got to continue to try to lock in on this end.
Montgomery, a contested drive.
Well, if you can't guard the ball, you can't guard the glass.
Dogs out to a 14-6 lead. Big Z from downtown. Arkansas 0 for 6 from behind the 3-point arc to start. James on the reverse. Oh, Surreal was hammered on the attempted putback. At least in his eyes. John Calipari didn't like that call.
Roy, those late whistles is what really frustrates head coaches. I mean, I've been there before, and that play had been over for a couple of seconds, and the late whistle comes in. There will always be confrontations at the rim this year in the SEC. And you can't see it for sure, but man, it sure looked like Brazil got a lot of ball. And a late whistle got Cal's attention.
Somto's Surreal, 43% free throw shooter.
Another kid that John Calipari knows well. He originally signed with Kentucky, native of Nigeria, played at the Atlanta Overtime Elite, one of the top 50 kids in the country coming out of high school last year.
Distracting.
That Bobby Portis?
I believe it was. Yeah. He's got his arms waving around. That's a vintage extended size Bobby Portis.
And where's the offense going to come from? Can you drive the ball with your big guards, get physical with them?
Billy Richmond on the floor. Davis, the pump fake, and the finish.
So I do like that because he still has the respect of the defense to come out to cover up that 3-point shot. Use the shot fake. Use your physical drive. He made a lot of plays like that over the last 3 years at Florida Atlantic.
LeFew. Couldn't get it up over Davis. 5 to shoot. Tyron Lawrence kicks it out of bounds.
I think that was off. I think that was off Black. Regardless, Arkansas, one of their better defensive possessions, switching 1 through 5, staying in front of that ball.
SEC men's basketball is brought to you by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC. Presented by Pfizer. Should be another great afternoon and evening of hoops. I'm going to ask you this question because I said it during that last commercial break. Arkansas is in search of something, a spark, and just somebody to make a play to remind these folks in this arena this team can get it done. Great inbounds play, in and out. Montgomery missed the layup. What needs to happen here, Jimmy?
And sometimes it's a mistake by the other team that can spark you. You blow a layup on one end, and it's just there's a lot of uncertainty right now for Arkansas on this end of the floor.
Davis swatted, and a foul called. Surreal snuck in. Let's see who drew the contact first.
But Roy, I like the back-to-back physical drives by Nelly Davis. He's a big, strong, 6'4" physical kid. And that jump shot's not falling right now cleanly for him, so drive that basketball, get in the paint, and get yourself to the line.
FAU transfer, AAC co-player of the year last year. You see his numbers this season. If you would have asked me preseason, okay, what does it look like mid-January for Nelly Davis? And I would have said probably about twice that with 8.3 points per game. Coach.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's what he was in the portal. I mean, he was an 18-point guy on a Final Four team. The injury to Boogie Flan has opened the door, not only for Nelly Davis, but for everyone on this team to step up and become a scoring threat. Desperately needed.
Flan not with the team tonight. Successful thumb surgery earlier today in the Big Apple. And his return, the timetable for it, not available at this juncture. And a lot of reports out there suggesting he won't be back this season. That could very well be possible. But his production certainly is going to be missed. Didn't turn it over. Great vision. Timer down to 3. Here's a steal. Big Z comes away with it.
Arkansas's defense is good enough to win this game tonight.
Carter Knox. Hawks now 0 for 7 from downtown. Ty Lawrence. Georgia's missed 2 layups here in the last 2 minutes. And save back to the Dogs.
Well, you can't get better looks than Arkansas has had 3 or 4 times from that three-point line in this league.
Halfway through the first. Shot clock down to 7 again. James, the turnaround with a left-handed finish and the foul.
Man, was that nice by Dylan James. You know, he started in that SEC tournament last year and kind of ignited Georgia in their NIT run. Long wingspan kid, 7'2" wingspan, and he had a big game at Wake Forest last year in the NIT, but those multiple big bodies that Mike White can throw on you over a 40-minute game just wears you down, and he's one of those pieces.
2.5 points, 2 rebounds per game this season. 6 of 11 at the stripe. Mike White looked at both of us today, and he looked at Dylan James, and he said, we got to get him in more. He can do more for us. And Georgia coming off back-to-back losses, the Tennessee and Auburn games. They led against Tennessee at halftime, trailed big against Auburn early, then came back and had a chance late. It'll stay with the Hawks. Now coming up tomorrow, women's basketball takes over the SEC network. Every Thursday, Georgia A&M leads number 11 Kentucky against Texas A&M. 7 Eastern, 6 Central.
You watch the women's game, there's not a better floor general than Georgia A&M at Kentucky. And Kenny Brooks has stepped in and made Kentucky more than relevant on the national scene.
It didn't take long, especially when you bring in Amore from Virginia Tech. Wagner with a path and the finish.
That's probably what he's best at. I think Wagner can get in the lane about any time he wants, and a really good job of sticking both feet, playing off of 2 feet, and a controlled tough 2 by Wagner.
Started every game this season for Cal. Of course, his dad, Juan, played back at Memphis back in the day. Hard to believe how long ago that was. Good rim protection. Tapped out. It'll stay with the Dogs.
Well, Wagner's a tough kid. And Was not getting to the free throw line a lot early in the season, but now back to that natural point guard spot. He should get there 5 or 6 times a game, as explosive as he is. One of Coach Calipari's strengths, Roy, is relationships, and that's why there's a really long list of his former players that he has now coached their son.
And here with this Arkansas roster, that's a 3. Silas Demery.
Not his strength. 44% of his shots, Silas Demery, come at the rim. But good looking stroke. Makes him pay.
Hawks coming off their first possession with a made jump shot. They started for their first 11 tonight. And Jimmy, you saw that graphic pop up. Dogs 3 of 5 from distance. Arkansas 0 of 7. You look at the lead, it's 8. Therein lies the difference in this game.
Yeah,
Georgia's made a couple of threes.
Yep.
Newell picks up his first.
And when you're struggling in your half-court offense, Roy, can you steal one off a baseline out of bounds? Set plays, all those opportunities now are magnified if you're Arkansas.
Davis will survey. He'll get it back and open look. That's the spot.
Again, it's hard in this league to get that good of a look. You can't capitalize on it, man. It just makes tough sledding.
Ellie Davis with 4 points to start. Good cut by Lawrence. He'll whip it outside. Demery again. Yeah, another triple.
Why not Georgia? They are so disciplined at finding that backside corner off of a dribble penetration. Silas Demery with back-to-back threes. Not bad for a kid shooting 31% so far in league play from distance. With Blue Canes, but this is a kid that got a lot of experience last year as a freshman. Almost half of his attempts were from the three-point line as well, but he shot it with a lot of confidence. He is a gym rat, lives in the gym, can drive you with that right hand straight line, but his biggest quality, that dude just competes.
Now Cal, a shoot around today. 6 words I wrote down that he kept going back to over and over. Actually 5 words, I can't count. Be enthusiastic, make it simple.
Yeah,
and he went back to that a bunch of times, especially when they were running their sets and getting looks for 3. And he wanted Davis to shoot the 3. And the guys, even early in the shot clock, if we get a good shot, we're going to take it. Well, they've done that tonight. They just haven't made him. 0 of 8, as we've talked about. From 3-point range. There's a good drive and a good finish by Wagner.
Yeah, I just keep calling for the Arkansas guards to attack the paint. I think that's their strength right now. I go back to the exhibition game when Bill Self left here and he said we won't face 3 better guards all year than what we saw with Arkansas tonight. Now one of those guys is gone, but he was talking about Boogie Flan and DJ Wagner, and that's still the strength of this Arkansas team.
Newell back on the floor. The early foul is yet to score. One of the top freshmen in America. Jump hook, splashes that one home.
Boy, he's got that, though. I've watched this kid on film, and he shoots that jump hook a little further out than most people do with great efficiency.
I think I've asked you this question before. How come we don't teach the hook shot more than what we do? It's unstoppable.
Yeah, the jump hook is there. That's a dude Fierro's shot right there, getting to that elbow. I know Arkansas is down, but that defensively, I say it again, they're good enough to win this game if they don't let those missed shots affect their energy on this end of the floor.
25-16. Under 7 to go in the first half. Godfrey picked up by Adu. He'll go to work. Couple of big man moves and draw the foul. I love a good hook shot. I don't care what America says.
Yeah, I know you do. Well, to your point, this kid, Asa Newell, long left-handed athlete, one of the high priority guys in the 2024 recruiting class out of high school. 70%, Roy, 70% of his shots on the year are in the paint. That's the strength of this kid right here, 14 in black. You got to fight him. You got to be physical with him. He's still just a freshman. You got to make it a hard contact game and make Asa Newell work and not let him be a finesse big.
One more free throw for R.J. Godfrey.
Beautiful kid, though, right? I mean, Mike White just went on and on about he's about the right stuff. He was born in Atlanta, spent a lot of time growing up in the Athens area, going to a lot of the University of Georgia facilities, camps, different things. Learn to swim, right? Georgia's campus. That what they
learned
told
to swim in Athens, right across the street from Stegman, and participate in a lot of summertime camps. Grandmother worked on campus as well, so the family ties were there. And even had a conversation, you know, you sit down with the players as the sports information director before the season starts. Hey, where do you want your hometown? How do you want it to be listed? And that was a thoughtful conversation between the Newells and Georgia SID Mike Mobley, because kind of grew up in Destin the first 10 years, as you mentioned, in Athens, and that's Destin, Florida. But a serious connection, significant connection with the Classic City.
So think about Georgia defensively right now. Arkansas is 0 for 8 from the three-point line. There's no reason for Georgia to get overstretched in this game defensively. Continue to load up to the ball side, keep the ball out of the paint, and see if Arkansas can make enough jump shots in this game to hang with you.
Hogs missed their first 11 jumpers tonight. Trailing by 11 with possession. A2 makes it 9-point game.
I said it's a bad angle. Asa Newell was not even close to being between the ball and the basket as a baseline out of bounds guy.
Stick back by Newell on the other end.
He just made up for the mistake. Wow.
Boy, he kind of snuck in there. Asa Newell the buckets. A2 quickly short.
That was not a shot by Adu. That was just more of a little throw. Completely got rushed for a kid his size inside.
Demery off the bounce and the step back. Foul inside. Newell hit the deck pretty hard.
And watch Asa Newell he's just running the pipe in transition and gets right to the front of the rim. That's an easy play for an athlete that long and that explosive.
SEC Freshman of the Week. Go back to Anthony Edwards. Was it 5 years ago? 4-time SEC Freshman of the Week, and see what he's doing now in the NBA with the Timberwolves.
Yeah. And he primarily scores off pick and roll action, drop-offs, putbacks, lobs. He's that kind of an athlete.
Kane fell down. He was shoved down. And we're looking at both teams going to be in the bonus rest of the way.
Boy, it's an odd feeling in Bud Walton Arena. We're used to coming in here and it being full and loud, and you can just sense that the Arkansas fan base is just sitting waiting for something to go their way and show some hope that this week is the week that we're going to turn it around. Certainly the loss of Boogie Flan kind of deflated some of those hopes. I understand that, but you still got 8 good players to work with tonight. They have got to find an answer on the offensive end.
Montgomery at the line, a 67% free throw shooter. And I mean, Jimmy, you look at the upcoming schedule. You got one more home game this week. We talked about it earlier. You got a 2 spot coming your way. Georgia tonight, then Oklahoma. And then next week, I mean, it starts to get interesting. It gets interesting in a hurry. Not that it hasn't already for Cal, but the return trip to Rupp. And we know what the rest of the slate's going to look like, but you got to win some games at home, and Cal mentioned that to the team today multiple times. Protecting home court. You're kind of running out of time.
You sure are. That's the magic of the league this year. If you're going to have any fighting chance at all, you've got to win those games on your home floor. Can you get guards driving downhill again on this possession if you're Arkansas?
Arthur Knox has the 3-point shot. Hogs haven't made one yet tonight. Wagner. Surreal snuck in. And Knox is going to force the issue and shoot a pair.
But it all started with the forceful drive of DJ Wagner. There's value in this league, Roy, of a guard that can drive the ball and get it on the glass, get the defense out of rotation, and allow offensive rebounding to come into play. And that's the strength of DJ Wagner. .28 starts at Kentucky last year for that kid right there. So he has been through the battles of the SEC. And much improved 3-point shooter overall this year. He was below 30% as a 3-point shooter throughout high school and his freshman year at Kentucky. But a very high character, explosive kid, wants to be coached hard. pretty good hand to slide into the slot with the absence of Boogie Flam.
Carter Knox, an 80% free throw shooter. McDonald's All-American. Gets the bounce. 31-19. First point of the night for Knox. Georgia trying to win its third SEC game already. Currently on the right side of Joe Lunardi's bubble.
Yeah.
It's a team that has made strides under Mike White in year number 3. Demery had that shot moments ago, and he comes up short again. It's tracked down by Montgomery. And Wagner with a forearm contact on the floor.
Yeah, you mentioned Georgia. You know, they got ranked, and then what they have to do, they got to play Auburn and Tennessee. And that's just a brutal stretch right there. But all of their losses versus those top 25 teams, and they showed that they can play with the best of them. They missed a buzzer-beating tie tip by Asa Newell against Auburn over the weekend. Or they'd be in a lot better shape after taking down a #1 team, but it didn't fall their way. And they come in here tonight knowing that any win in this league, regardless of Arkansas being 0-5, is a quality time.
Well, that game too, you look at the grit shown by Georgia. You're down early by almost 20 points. They come all the way back, multiple chances that final minute to try to tie it up, including that shot you mentioned by Newell. Great inbounds played, have a chance. Hawks get it back. Thero, some contact entering the paint.
I like what Arkansas did in transition, though. They run a double drag, and what I mean by that, 2 guys up top setting a ball screen. Thero's one of the screeners. He pops out of it and then immediately gets going downhill. Good early action by Calipari.
Thero at the stripe, junior out of Pittsburgh, leading scorer, rebounder. 57% from the field. Missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Kind of a microcosm of what we've experienced so far tonight here at Bud Walton. Under 4 to go in the half. Surreal dumps it inside to Demery, outside to Kane, and not this time. Carter Knox, no-look dish inside the block of the rim. Oh, Dylan James, there was a foul, and free throws are coming.
But a strong, aggressive Arkansas push and conversion, and James, great job of protecting the rim. A little bit of a paint touch, you get a cutter out of the corner, but man, 13 in black with a 7'2" wingspan says, not on my watch. Again, Arkansas comes in shooting 25% in conference play from 3. And the portal that Cal went into, he recruited guys he thought could make shots. And Nelly Davis certainly was one of them. He thought Boogie Flam was a shot maker coming out of high school. He trusted the development of DJ Wagner in the offseason. Big Z, 44 in white. That's one of the strength of his games as a 3-point shooter. And at some point, guys got to produce.
And he's coming off a 14-10 performance the last time out. One of his best games so far in Fayetteville. 2 of 2 for Richmond. Lead back to 11.
Cal with only 8 guys is being selective when he comes to the full court pressure. I like it after free throws right now. Again, trying to create something off the defense, change the game, give your offense a chance other than just in the true half court.
You made the point to me earlier today. Don't be shocked to see Arkansas use some zone at some point, because you only got 8 guys that can play. At some point, you got to do that to rest your players and to make sure that they're going to be good to go for the duration. And an offensive foul, Richmond, with the extension of the arm, picks up the infraction.
Well, you mentioned zone. I've been around Calipari the last 15 years at Kentucky as much as anybody, and he would mention zone a lot at Kentucky. He would just never play it. So he's always mentioning it, and it's in his back pocket. They work on it, but this may be a season right now that he's going to have to go to that some. It's just the difficulty of playing with 8 scholarship guys, they just don't have a 9th guy that they trust right now. So it's as short of a bench as you're going to see in college ball to finish this season.
Crowd imploring defense of the Hogs here. Approaching 3 to go.
And Cal's the one guy in the building right now with good body language and clapping for his guys, encouraging them. It's just a fight right now for Arkansas to find any type of momentum.
Lawrence off the screen. Bottled up, 4 to shoot. Space for Kane for a moment. Good defense by the Hawks.
Got numbers, got a score.
And Richmond lost the handle. And they don't do it. An empty possession.
That play sums up Blue Kane, the first guy on the floor, and the recognition to know where another black jersey was.
Spots Lawrence here. 3 ball.
What did I tell you about George in the corner 3? It's money you can just bank on in the transition in the half court. They're going to get that deep corner filled with a 3-point shooter.
Dogs with 12 points off Arkansas turnovers. Hogs without a field goal nearly 4 minutes. Big Z will go to work, has the size advantage, and Kane bumped him. 35-21, largest lead for UGA tonight. The Hogs now the double bonus rest of the way. Big Z at the stripe. Kane going to the bench, 2 fouls.
And we mentioned Boogie Fland, only 4 turnovers in 5 SEC games, and that was one of the concerns for Cal talking to him today. Will we value the basketball? That hasn't been their problem. Arkansas only has 5 turnovers in the game. They're missing shots, and I mean everything's a struggle. There's no natural rhythm, no natural flow right now for the Razorbacks on their home floor.
2 of 2 at the stripe. Cal talks about the fact the local media this week just got to get 1. Can't go on a run until you get that first one. You listen to local sports talk. Where's that first win going to come from? Is it tonight? Is it against Oklahoma? What happens from there? And a lot of questions, more questions than answers thus far this evening.
No doubt. And Arkansas would feel like they have a little bit of momentum if they can get this thing to single digits going into halftime.
Brazil picks up the foul. And that's going to be his second. We'll see the 3-point shooting. That's been a difference, obviously.
And look at the bottom line. Those 5 Arkansas turnovers tells you that Georgia has been uber efficient in converting those turnovers into points, almost automatic with it. Asa Newell, one thing I like about him, Roy, is he's got a foulable game. Like, he's active. There's a lot of movement about him. He plays hard, kind of has an effortless looking game, but he's always making something happen. Very coachable. He's a sponge, Mike White tells us.
I was searching for that other skill that he grew up learning, practicing on campus at Georgia. We mentioned the swim lessons. Piano lessons. That was the other one.
Really?
Piano lessons. He's a renaissance man.
He sure is.
For the Dogs.
Yeah. And that's what I talked about. Now the lead's at 14. And Arkansas in position to, can you get back-to-back stops, back-to-back makes? No. That's just a simple initiate the offense pass, not thrown cleanly, thrown a habit pass, and now the 6th Arkansas turnover on the evening.
Story of this first half, Georgia on the road trying to stop this 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, Roy, and if you're Georgia, the crowd's completely out of the game. It's almost like there's no one in here. keep them out of the game by not turning it over, running offense, pound it inside like they're doing. That's who they are naturally. They're an inside the paint team and on the glass team. They're built to win on the road. If you're Georgia, you stay with exactly what you're doing the first 19 minutes of this game.
Foul on Thero. This crowd has gotten into it after that latest whistle. Veteran crew tonight: KB Burdett Jr., Courtney Green, Jeb Hartness. And Newell at the line, 71% this season. Number 12 in the ESPN 100 coming into this year. 5-star prospect.
The third highest recruit in Georgia history. And that's what Mike White has done, how he's gotten Georgia basketball back. He has done a great job in the high school and the portal, finding guys that fit who he is. Mike White's as good a coach as we have in this SEC, and every coach in the league will tell you. And again, I mentioned it earlier, but Georgia comes in the number 16 defensive team in the country, defensive efficiency. That's how they've gotten their 14 wins.
1 of 2. Lead at 15. Razorbacks need a bucket. Timer down to 10. Another turnover. Montgomery racing away. Saved by Knox on the other end. Here comes Davis.
I mean, that's the spark that Arkansas is looking for. I mean, everything's there except finishing off the possession, and a great effort play by Knox. And awareness not to just throw it back in blindly, but to leap out of bounds and find a guy to ignite the break.
About a 6-second differential between the clocks.
And Georgia awfully clean in this half for only 4 turnovers. That's how you win on the road.
Shot clock is off after the miss by Godfrey.
Shoot it.
Arkansas 0 for 10 from 3-point range. Big Z turned around to Coach Counts, and that was my bad. That's a shot I think he wants him to take more times than not.
Yeah, absolutely. It's his bad to miss it, but it wasn't his bad to take it.
8 seconds to go. And a timeout called by Carter Knox.
Man, that's tough to have to burn a timeout because you can't inbounds the ball from side out of bounds. In this situation, is the guy taking it out of bounds. That's Nelly Davis. Because you can't forget about him. Mike White probably called the timeout and probably covered that. Remember Nelly Davis, after he throws it in, you can't let this guy get the ball quickly back, going downhill or into a jump shot. Really good use of the timeout by Mike White. Yeah, they try to get it to Nelly.
There's a 3. Finally. Lid comes off. Big Z connects. And a spark for the Hawks right before halftime.
Arkansas needs to run side out of bounds plays the entire second half. Right?
That may be part of the trick and part of the solution. The lead at 12. Let's get you to the studio, the halftime report. BB, what you got?
Boy, Big Z! There he is! He gets it done! But Arkansas down 12 right now. Patrick Young, Bat Bradley, I am
percentage-wise, their best three-point shooter.
Yeah. That's fair to say right there. Anybody, they have one more three-pointer than us here combined right now. But what did Georgia do that struck you as just so good on the road?
I mean, I have to be honest, this probably is the best road recipe execution I've ever seen, because Georgia is taking care of the basketball, only 4 turnovers. They've turned Arkansas over 7 times, 11 points off of that. They've, instead of just sticking to shooting a lot of threes, 5 of 9, like they're taking good quality shots, getting to the glass, running their offense well, and sticking to, they're the number 16 team in defensive efficiency. And as of now, I mean, we saw the 3-pointer that was hit there at the end, but it was it was 0 for 10 at one point. So Georgia's, as long as they continue to break the 3-point line, and run their offense, their own style of play as they've been doing, they got a really good chance to come away with this one.
Yeah, for the Hogs, we knew you take out your most creative scorer in Boogie Fland and your leading assist man because he is such a threat to score. Defense collapses on him, and he's able to get guys shots. I thought there was just maybe a couple of moments that they're half-court against a tough Georgia defense. You got to have hard cuts, hard screens, player movement, ball movement, make that defense rotate. They did it one time. You had John L. Davis have a direct driving lane to the basket. Hogs, obviously, 1 for 11 from three-point line. Almost 40% of their shot attempts are from the three-point line. However, during the season, 28% of their points come from the three-point line. They don't shoot a lot of threes. They don't make a lot of threes, only averaging 5.
Well, I wonder, if
you got to get in the paint.
Yeah.
Right now, Patrick Young, 6 of 8 on layups and dunks for the Hogs. Get in the paint.
More, for sure.
But you got to have the guys to do it, right?
Basketball.
I mean, you got to have the roster.
I think they have the guys to do it, but I'm not sure if they're all the way bought in on defense leading to offense. The easier you can get turnovers and turn those into easier baskets, I mean, it's funny, right, when you start scoring points, how you start playing better defense, right?
Florida.
Well, I do think it's a combination of, like what you said, Georgia's only turning over 4 times. That has been Georgia's biggest issue. Okay, they average 15 turnovers a game. They're taking care of the basketball on the road, taking advantage of the Hogs turning it over 7 times in the first half. So, Arkansas can improve on both sides of the floor.
That big 3 by Big Z at the end, had it not been, that would have been the worst shooting performance. So only 23 points in that first half. Let's see it spark something in the second. You knew there weren't going to be a bunch of points in this one, gentlemen, between Texas A&M and Ole Miss. I think Tom Hart called it an old school rock fight. Is that what they said earlier? Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
I like that.
Not a new school one.
It doesn't. Yeah, I was going to say the new school rock fight's got to be careful with it. 12-7 at that point, and then Sean Padula hits the 3. 26-18 at the point. Then Jalen Murray. Got it. Nails it. Ole Miss 33-26. The Pavilion happy right now as they are up 7. So, surprise on how that game's starting to play out right now?
No, Ole Miss's defense is for real. They get down. They have good, great positioning. Understand how to help. Their help defense is amazing. Coach Baird preaches with assistant coach Mark Adams. Keep it out of the lane. We don't want anybody getting in the lane. They were able to turn over Texas A&M, which. I did not see that coming. 10 turnovers right now.
Right.
A lot to do with that Ole Miss offense.
I just like the mindset, the idea of understanding a team you're playing. They're trying to figure something out. A&M's trying to figure out how to get Zurich Phelps and Wade Taylor to be the most effective. And as Ole Miss, you take on this chip on your shoulder. Say, it's not happening tonight. The perfect game is not happening tonight. Yeah. You're not unlocking it. You're just going to be somewhere else. Really good to see Ole Miss protect home court because they have not been able to do that in the past.
Right now, Wade Taylor only 1 of 4 from the field, only 2 points. So it's not the Wade Taylor that we normally traditionally see. All right, we got a lot more coming up, and including Blue Cane, a little ball movement down low. Asa Newell, is that a dream shake type deal? He's got 12.
Bucket!
That's the lead.
Arkansas has got issues on both ends right now, but this is a Georgia team again. They were in the top 25 last week. They're a legitimate NCAA tournament team. And we said at the top of the broadcast, a major week in year 1 under John Calipari. You got Georgia tonight. You got Oklahoma on Saturday. You got a chance to get 2 wins. If not, you start off 0-7 with a rugged slate still in front of you.
And a rugged road trip to Rupp coming up next week. Those were our good hand plays brought to you by Allstate, the 3-point shooting of Georgia in our first 20 minutes. There is work to do at Bud Walton, and let's see what happens in our second half. And for Georgia, should point out, too, a chance for a quad 1 victory tonight. Arkansas ranked inside the top 60 of the updated net rankings. Of course, that's a living, breathing mechanism, if you will. That can always change, but beat a team in the top 75 on the road. That counts as a quad 1 dub and a good start with R.J. Godfrey.
That's so well done by Georgia. Mike White on the road. What does he do coming out of the timeout at halftime? Pound that thing inside. Don't settle for a jump shot. Stay with what worked in the first 20 minutes.
Talk to us after Auburn. Working on the offense. after timeout plays, making sure you are lifting with 2 feet in the paint, getting the job done and being more fundamentally sound than what they saw. That early deficit against the Tigers. Knox comes up short, and falling down was Nelly Davis. He was pushed, and that foul will be called against Blue Cane.
And you watch Georgia defensively. They are challenging every pass. They're trying to push Arkansas out. A lot of denials going on. They've been alert defensively on their switches.
Not sure I saw a ton of contact there. That's going to be the 3rd personal on Kane. 8 points, 3 fouls. Numeral 0 in black. Davis, a step back. Big shot to open up the second. And John Calipari raises his arms in celebratory fashion after that triple.
And interesting, that was the most difficult shot that Nelly's had tonight. It was actually a hard, tough, guarded 3 that he took. Is that the spark that gets Arkansas going?
Big Z at 3 right before halftime. Davis a triple to open up the second. Crowd is back in it and engaged.
What I like about Nelly Davis, didn't shoot the ball well in the first half. And this time, great foot awareness to drag that right foot back to make sure it's a 3, because Asa Newell's a 7-footer that challenges the shot. Missed the open ones in the first half, makes a guarded one to start the second half.
Lead down to 11. Kicked out of bounds by Thero.
Well, there's a long ways to go in this game, but it's interesting to me how many times a team makes a shot at the buzzer to close out the first half and how big that shot is at the end of the game. Let's keep remembering Big Z's 3-point shot if this thing gets close towards the end.
Godfrey turns it over. And this crowd's just been waiting. Yeah. They have been waiting for something, anything. And perhaps a brief spark here. Let's see.
Got a chance to cut this thing to single digits.
We do love this about the SEC. All these games, for the most part, nip and tuck, crazy comebacks, wild finishes. These teams have been involved in those so far. I think Georgia just looked back to the Auburn game.
Running Nelly Davis off of what everybody calls floppy action, sticking him underneath that rim and then getting him the choice to come out either side as a shooter. And another good decision by Davis to catch that ball on the perimeter, felt the defensive pressure, drove it through the elbow and got himself fouled. He'll go get it and shoot it.
There it is again. Davis is short. And a foul on the attempted putback. Hawks are going to shoot 2 more at the line.
Yeah, the opening 2 minutes of the second half better than the first 20 for Arkansas. Much more aggressive, shooting the ball with confidence, getting on the offensive glass. They've had a couple of deflections already defensively. And Nelly Davis with that 3 from the corner, and Thero, one of the better athletes in this league and physical, comes flying in.
Thero at the line. Get 1 more. Seven points tonight for Adu. Make it 8. Hawks with momentum, perhaps for the first time.
Yeah, and a little bit of game pressure on Georgia for the first time. Crowd into it. Big defensive possession for Arkansas.
Lost it. And out of bounds off the knee of Nelly Davis.
One of the plays you have to make, Roy, when you got momentum, you're trying to build on momentum, you come down in transition. A nice slap down by LeFew off the leg of Davis. Proper call.
Dakota LeFew without a point tonight, averaging over 11 per game this season. Dogs still lead by 9. Godfrey up and in, and the response.
That is how you respond, to your point, on a on a away game if you're Georgia. The crowd's gotten into it, but Georgia is built to win games on the road. Why do I say that? Their ability to do this right here. Just big bodies back you down. They all have that little jump hook. They can get fouled, get to the free throw line, and Big Z at 7'2" just can't get to the ball of R.J. Godfrey.
Jimmy, I'm curious to get your opinion on Godfrey because he comes in averaging 6.5, 4.5 rebounds. Good start tonight with 8 points. He came from Clemson, their Elite 8 run last year. I mean, to me, it feels like end of the year, those numbers he's produced so far this season, I think it could be on the up and up a little bit.
No doubt. He's a great culture guy, first of all. And his dad played linebacker at Georgia, his dad Randall. So it's a natural fit for him to finish out his college career. You know he's been coached really well. Hard coached by Brad Brownell, and a very good pickup for Mike White in that portal.
Floater by Wagner. It'll go back to the Dogs.
So Georgia has kind of put that momentum behind them a little bit right now that Arkansas had built up. Remember, Georgia only 4 turnovers in that first half. And it's up to 6 right now, but they stay clean with the ball. Man, is that a big deal when you're on the road.
LeFew without a bucket tonight. Newell inside, cleans it up, and a chance for 3.
Roy, that all started with Mike White's play call to use Newell in a small, big screen. Arkansas switches it, so now when the shot's taken, Newell is trying to be checked off inside by a guard. It's just not going to work. Nelly Davis is fighting. That's a big size advantage. That's the problem at times with switching. It doesn't show up in the first shot. Is can you keep your mismatch off the glass, and Arkansas couldn't do it.
9 points, 4 boards tonight for the talented freshman out of Destin, Florida. Grew up in Athens, was born in Atlanta. Big fan of the Dogs and a natural fit in the SEC for head coach Mike White.
Yeah, no doubt. And we mentioned in the first half, it's a rebounding game for Arkansas. And Cal talked about it with us. But when you switch 1 through 5, there'll be several times a game that switch backfires on you, trying to get those rebounds.
Lane violation gives Newell another opportunity. Hogg stepped in the paint too early. Asa Newell now in double figures. Trevin Brazil going to check back in for the Razorbacks.
When's the last time you saw a free throw shooter get disqualified for the shot because he took more than 10 seconds? As the student section behind us was counting a little faster than normal, trying to get Newell to that 10-second count.
You know, in the NBA for a number of years, Giannis Antetokounmpo, they would go on the road, the Bucks would, and it would be an extended delivery for him, and it would go over 10 in the entire arena across the NBA, everywhere. They would count 1 through 10, and he would never get called, never be whistled for the infraction. So it's out there, and it doesn't get called. 2 on the timer. Good defense by the Dogs, and ahead to LeFew.
A really hard, tough 2 taken by Wagner.
And Knox tried the Euro, was interfered. 2 Georgia players. Newell was caught in traffic. And that gets us to the under-16 media timeout.
Good job by Georgia, because Arkansas was trying, man, to have some momentum, some energy in the building, and they just stick with who they are. Pounded inside, making Arkansas pay for not cleaning up on the defensive glass.
So certainly those numbers being missed this evening and for the foreseeable future.
Hell, he was right there with the best of them in college basketball in the freshman class in that point guard spot, if not the best. Had a lot on his plate, but when that thumb injury occurred, he was really shooting a pretty high percentage from the field, and those numbers just dropped off to the point that he couldn't play anymore. And said in the first half, that kid's got a great future in front of him. We hope that surgery is 100% successful.
LeFew still scoreless. Shot clock at 7. Montgomery no good. Newell cleans it up again.
Yeah, can't let it happen. Your first shot defense by Arkansas wasn't bad. You forced a pretty tough 2 along the baseline, but just not putting a body on a body, being physical with Georgia.
Nelly Davis, the side of the rim. Brazil. 3rd triple for Arkansas, 2nd of the half.
Arkansas not coming with pressure again. Only 8 scholarship guys. That bench isn't any deeper than 8 to finish this year. So Cal will be selective when the press is on and when it's off.
Here's LeFew. High off the glass. In and out. Davis wide open. Brazil on the putback.
Man, appreciate the effort by Brazil to run, get out in front of the play, be there as an offensive rebounder, because Nelly Davis brought that thing with speed, Roy. And that's the shot that John Calipari said today from that exact spot. Shoot it every time in transition when you bring the ball here. Look at Brazil come in, man. He's a running, long athlete for the miss.
3rd foul on Newell. And Cal was over there talking with Nelly Davis. That entire sequence after the foul was called to put Brazil to stripe. And you could just see his expression and the tone in his voice from across the court. And there was almost a mild laughter there in just trying to encourage his star. Hey, it's coming. It's going to happen. It's starting to believe.
I mean, Nelly Davis could have gone about anywhere in the country. That's how much he was sought after in the portal. It just has not worked yet for him. And now the Arkansas press, like I said, will be selective with it. They take Nelly Davis out, put a better defender in. They put the press on. They get the turnover, and it's a 10-point game. Far, far from over.
And we saw in the earlier game tonight in Columbia, South Carolina, Gamecocks did not trail against Florida until the very final shot was made by the Gators. 70-69 ended up being the final. Wagner. Brazil on the offensive glass again. The point is, anything is possible,
no doubt,
in this conference.
Whoa. Including a throw to the front row that spills popcorn.
And that was popcorn, maybe a drink, maybe something else over there. Look out.
It's okay if you're Arkansas. You got the thing down to 10. Cal continuing to encourage his guys. You can't get discouraged right now. You know it's not going to come easy. You're in a slugfest right now, trying to find something good, and Cal puts the press on again, extending it up.
There's a cleanup on aisle 5 directly to our right. Well, they got out there quick. Gentleman did a nice job. I'm surprised that doesn't happen more.
No doubt.
You know, expensive seats there courtside, NBA and college. You got your popcorn, you got your hot dogs, you got your beverages. You got these world-class athletes.
You know this ball's going inside.
Surreal.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a little something to his game. That is going to be the 4th foul on Trevin Brazil.
I love how Mike White is coaching this game. He's feeling a little bit of game pressure, and the only thing they're going to do on this possession is hammer that thing inside. He's got multiple big bodies to throw it to. They run good action. They get their guys with a defensive angle to work with. And this big cat here, 6'11", 260. Said in the first half, originally signed with Kentucky. The majority of his points are on the offensive glass, trying to dunk stuff. They call him Baby Shaq with that 7'5" wingspan. Tremendous future for Santo Cyril.
Grew up playing soccer, so footwork is there. You grow up and you suddenly are 6'10", you're kind of looking around. Dunking the basketball a little bit easier than scoring a goal or doing something else on the pitch. A couple of big free throws, lead back to 12.
And they're going floppy action for DJ Wagner.
Explain that again.
Well, just watch Wagner. He's operating. He can come off either side for a shot. And you run him side to side.
Wagner gets it back.
Nice.
And the reverse.
He is so good and crafty and strong through contact around the rim. Just continuing to hang in there and make Georgia feel game pressure, only down 10. Got a mismatch on the inside. DJ Wagner doing all he can to circle the post.
Working on Dylan James.
Yeah.
1 on the shot clock. And a violation.
Watch DJ Wagner working off that floppy action. He runs to the right side, almost fumbles it, comes up with it, kicks it back out, and then boom, a scoring cut, driving cut along the baseline. Goes right through what could have been some contact, and he came right back down on the other end and just fought his tail off. He got mismatched on the inside defensively. And Arkansas starting to feel a little bit of life right now with under 13 to go.
You wonder if Carter Knox can get going at some point. On cue. Late whistle. And Knox trying to make something happen towards the rim. Only 3 points tonight. And free throws coming. We remind you, our next SEC Network Saturday men's basketball quadruple header starts at 1 Eastern. 2 featured games at night. Ole Miss and Mizzou, a top 25 showdown. LSU and Alabama from Coleman Coliseum in T-Town at 8:30 Eastern, presented by Pfizer. Another great afternoon and evening of college basketball.
Yeah, Mark Sears starting to look like Mark Sears from last year. And Mo Diabate, and that's an Alabama team. You start looking across the country, and not anybody playing better than Roll Tide right now. And Nate Oates got his eyes set on a Final Four and a national championship. That's why Sears came back, and they'll be right in the mix of it. Arkansas's got this thing to a 9-point game.
Head coach at that point, Sears, the leading scorer in the SEC again, 19 per game. Surreal, force one up, draws the foul on Thero. And that's the 3rd on number 3 for the Hawks.
Thero felt like that his arms are straight up. Keep those. Yeah, that's not a foul on Thero. I mean, Surreal knocks him back, and Thero doing all he can as an undersized defender to go straight up.
Surreal made 2 free throws moments ago, under 50% on the season, and he gets a kind bounce there.
Yeah, there's the knockoff, and I get, yeah, I could see Thero being called for moving into the shooter of Surreal, but fortunate that Surreal didn't get called with the first contact to knock Thero back. It doesn't matter if you're Arkansas, you're 0-5, and things have not gone your way. You've got to handle adversity right now and play through it. It's crazy how when things aren't going your way, sometimes calls don't go your way. It's not going to be handed to you. Man, stay with it right now. You're Arkansas. You've had some good things going for you in this second half.
And Cal said that this morning at the shoot-around. They're not going to give it to us. We got to go take it. We got to start somewhere.
Yep.
Justin absent on the floor for the first time for Georgia. And a foul, the shove by Billy Richmond.
Yeah, it's just a tough shot by Richmond. I mean, he was a McDonald's All-American, a pull-up jump shot star in high school. And that was a play call for him. But Arkansas has had better success in this second half. Getting that ball moving a little bit, getting Wagner going downhill. Nelly Davis checks back in. And the full court press back on for Arkansas, making Georgia work.
Ty Lawrence walk it up. Vanderbilt transfer. First touch for Absent. Shot clock winding down for Kane. And a lot of contact and an offensive foul. That's going to be his 4th. 52-41. Georgia with the lead.
Nelly Davis has to continue to be aggressive. Wagner's been good in the second half. And the dude Thiero is always a threat, especially on the offensive glass.
That last sequence, they did not call a foul on Kane, but he did turn it over out of bounds. Jimmy Dykes, Roy Philpott. Arkansas with its largest halftime deficit at home this season tonight. It was 12. They've trimmed it down to 11. Did get it down to single digits for just a moment at 9. And Thiero's going to be clipped by James.
Well, that's good action. I mean, Cal just rips a guy from one side of the floor to the other and then sets a ball screen for Wagner to come off of. And Wagner penetrates, knowing that what we're really trying to do is get Thiero going down with his left hand, which he's so good at. I mean, that's good action. Good vision by Cal on the offensive end coming out of that timeout. He's a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, the guy hadn't forgotten how to coach. He runs good stuff. He understands ball screen coverage. I mean, remember the night that he took the job, I was here. And he came out of the first team meeting and looked at me and said, there's no team. Like, had to completely put a team together, which is, he's not the only guy this year that had to do it, but it's not easy to go out and put a team together in the offseason like he did. And sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. But Arkansas is down to 8 guys, and no one in this league is going to feel sorry for anybody. It is what it is right now for Arkansas. You got it to a 9-point game and a chance to get a win tonight, and then the chance to get a win against Oklahoma on Saturday on your home floor. About all you can ask for right now if you're Arkansas.
It's got to start somewhere.
And absolutely.
Hogs will be in the bonus the rest of this game as well.
Big. That's really big. Yeah.
Davis forces a turnover.
I think Arkansas has been very good when to put the full court pressure on and when not to. Now, can you pay it off with a basket after the turnover that you just got? Really good hands by Nelly Davis. And not easy to get a strip and rip against Silas Demery.
Davis flips it to Adu.
Yeah.
Mid-range is there. Leads down to 7. Crowd back in it at Bud Walton.
Think the ball's going inside, Roy?
It's gone that way every time the Hawks have made a run. And it does again. Abson corralled it. And the contact, it's a foul.
Yeah, just the 16th foul on Arkansas. Now the next one, Georgia, being a bonus. But Wagner understands it as well as that weak side defender, anticipating that ball's going to be coming inside. And whether you get ball or not, anytime, it's crazy. Anytime you slap down as a defender like that, it just looks like, to the eyes of the official, that contact occurred. Regardless, again, you got to play through it if you're Arkansas. Nothing's going to be given to you.
Foul starting to mount up. Demery takes it baseline. 10 on the shot clock.
Don't foul in Arkansas in the short clock.
Godfrey, full head of steam and an offensive foul.
Good defensive play by DJ Wagner, man, giving up his body, fighting back to get in legal guarding position. Georgia got caught with a short clock. Look at Wagner staying there and take it. And took a little bit of shot to the head area as well. I would say this is the most important offensive possession for Arkansas, maybe so far in SEC play.
Wagner. That's a 3. And Godfrey with a shove, and that's going to be his 4th.
Roy, like I said a couple of minutes ago, what does the dude Thiero do? He gets on the offensive glass. And Cal's got an aggressive team out there offensively. You got Wagner driving downhill, Thiero driving downhill, getting on the offensive glass. Nelly Davis continues to shoot the ball with some confidence, although they aren't going in. And I would expect Arkansas make the free throws, apply the pressure again.
And a chance to make it a 2-possession game. For all that has gone wrong tonight,
no doubt.
This game at home with a crowd that's back in it, there for the taking.
Arkansas shooting 32% from the floor, 16% from the three-point line. But they've done a lot of damage from this stripe. Now 18 out of 21 from the line. has this thing down to a 2-possession game, and Bud Walton now has some life.
Fouls mounting up on both sides. This margin as close as it's been since there were 9 minutes to go in the first half, and it was 17-12. Lawrence retreats. Mike White says spread out. An air ball, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Absent.
Yeah, normally when you say spread out, you want your guard to drive it, and Tyron Lawrence probably settled for a long one right now. And how about this? Arkansas has fought their way all the way back with a chance to make this a 1-possession game.
And Mike White.
Yeah, he feels it too.
We'll say that's enough. The lead down to 5, halfway through the second half. Georgia's led by as many as 15 tonight. In this latest run by Coach Cal's club, 6-0 advantage in the last 90 seconds. And possession, and a chance of making a 1-possession affair.
Yeah, Arkansas's in the bonus, so you know John Calipari. This play call most likely getting a guard going downhill, talking to his guys about getting on the offensive glass. Same thing, trying to get Wagner to that right hand.
Comes up short, Adu. Free throws coming for Jonas Adu.
Back-to-back times Arkansas has ran that play, Roy, out of a timeout. They kind of run it a blur screen to kind of get Wagner going downhill. You got a guard cutting in front of him as he starts to come downhill. And the value of a guard to get the ball on the glass in this league is so important. Make Georgia rotate to the ball, allow a guy like Adu to come in for an offensive rebound.
Jimmy the Hawks tonight at the line, 18 of 21.
Yeah.
Now 19 of 22.
Outstanding.
It has become a slugfest tonight at Bud Walton. These two teams physically getting after each other. 1 of 2 at the line for Adu.
Now, what does Mike White want?
It's going down low.
Yeah, get the ball going side to side a little bit right here and make Arkansas work, but it's going in the paint.
LeFew. Step back mid-range.
Tough shot, Roy.
First bucket of the night.
Yeah, the entire focus is trying to pound it inside. Duke Thero was phenomenal as an inside defender and forced it tough, too. What a shot by LeFew.
He's come off the bench in all 19 games this season for the Dogs. Averaging double figures. First team All-MAC last year at Mount St. Mary's. Spots by Davis on the other end.
Davis was very good off dribble handoff action at Florida Atlantic. Cal goes to it, keeps it a 2-point game.
Cut inside the double team. Demery, the fake. Newell, stolen and ripped away by Thero.
There's that same cut. That's a blur cut, a ball screen. And there he goes.
Wagner off the mark. Adu stole it and rejected inside. We'll stay on this end.
Felt like Adu got a little rushed again. Just take your time as a 7-footer. Gather yourself and explode. He shot it so quickly, didn't get a lot of lift off the ground.
These two teams split their meetings last year. Each one winning on its home court. Different rosters, different vibe, and a different scene. Start SEC play for both squads in 2025. Davis on LeFew. Will somehow get it back. Contested 3. Knox inside and a chance for
3. Man, Arkansas doing damage on the offensive glass. Their 14th offensive rebound in this game. Nelly Davis had to take a tough challenge 3. And Carter Knox comes in and cleans it up. 25 second chance points, a season high for Arkansas, and it couldn't come at a better time. When your half-court offense isn't good, what do? Man, you find ways to manufacture points. You do it on the offensive glass. We got a game.
Now, Cal talked a lot this morning about rebounding. You mentioned the second chance points. That is a season high for the Razorbacks. And they have found a way in this second half to not only make it interesting, but to make it a one-point affair. And this has been a lot of fun all of a sudden for a game that was kind of grinding away, and Georgia appeared to be running away with it. Not so much anymore.
There's 9 offensive rebounds by Arkansas in the second half against a very good rebounding team, Georgia. And the press comes again.
Closest this game has been since it was 7-6. It's about 3.5 hours ago.
No doubt.
Newell, the spin. A2, the help side D, and a whistle comes in.
I described Asa Newell in the first half, a kid with a foulable game. He draws fouls a lot. He's all of 6'11". He's quick with the ball. He spins. He goes right, spins back left, goes left, spins back right. A lot of talent inside that 6'11" frame.
Asa Newell. At the line for the 5-star freshman.
Really good release. 80% free throw shooter in conference play coming in. NBA scouts will look at how well he shoots free throws and project how good of a three-point shooter he can become.
Double checking to make sure he gets it off within the 10 seconds.
You get 10 seconds.
You appreciate that.
He pushes it to that 8-9 mark quite a bit.
Karl Malone, I think, also did that back in the day.
Okay.
The Utah Jazz, where he would talk to himself and try to find a different way to make sure those free throws were falling.
Zone by Georgia. The first time we've seen it tonight. Taking Arkansas a little bit of time to get organized. Inside to Brazil is always a good option.
Adu, double team. Puts it off the back iron. Cleared by Brazil. He's been active on the offensive glass.
The 10th offensive rebound by Arkansas in this half alone.
The jump stop rejected by Surreal. And contact, the foul will be called on Carter Knox. With Surreal, he's got ups.
And that's 2 freshmen. 14 in black is a freshman, and so is 6. And those 2 guys can really protect the rim. They're quick off their feet. They're long. I believe Newell has a 7'2" wingspan. Number 6 has a 7'5" wingspan. They make life tough on you at the rim.
Arkansas in the double bonus. Dogs in the bonus. And Deshane Montgomery, a sophomore, 67% at the line. In and out. And Knox claims the rebound.
Would he play call for Big Z here?
Coming off the 14 and 10 performance.
Yeah, no.
He has been held in check tonight outside of that 3 at the end of the half. And 2 more free throws. And a reminder, women's basketball take over the SEC network every Thursday. Tomorrow, Georgia A-Moore, number 11 UK against the Aggies. That is at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central here on SEC network.
Carter Knox became a McDonald's All-American as a driver, slasher, effort kid. He's a shooter in progress, and he's putting in the work. I mean, this guy puts in 2,500, 3,000 shots a week outside of practice. But John Calipari, his play calls right now are for those physical guards, Wagner and Knox in particular, getting downhill, and Thiero as well. Press will come again, and it will be hot. Arkansas is looking for turnovers right now.
Bud Walton alive again. We can see the look in Nelly Davis's eye on defense. More intensity, more emotion. Asa Newell, patient finish at the rack.
How good is that for a true freshman? Under pressure on the road, knocks the contact off of himself, frees himself up for that little jump hook. And Mike White continuing to pound it inside on the road.
That's a solid 16 points, if not a quiet 16.
No doubt.
Big Z on Surreal. They've gotten away with a travel, puts it up and in.
That was length versus strength, and length won out on that possession.
58-57. Hogs in search of their first SEC win.
We don't overswitch if you're Arkansas and get mismatched on a rebound. Guard yours.
Newell, Surreal, the attempted lob, and that was awkward in every way.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes that Newell has made in this game. Arkansas with a chance to take the lead, Roy, if they get it. Bud Walton's going to explode. Now they'll give it up and probably run to the other side.
There he goes. And now Wagner. Carter Knox lost it. Thero saved it. Davis. And a foul called.
You can't play any harder than Carter Knox has played in this second half. And without Boogie Flan, you got guys now getting extra minutes, and Carter Knox has taken advantage of his. The effort for Arkansas to come up with a loose ball and just get a shot off. So impressive for Arkansas to get the loose ball scramble. Nelly Davis had recognized his shot clock ticking down. That's what I'm talking about right here. Bam, that play right there by Thero. Nelly Davis to see it. It draws the rim, and then the push off by Knox from behind gets Knox fouled into the free throw line, and chance for Arkansas to take the lead.
And Jimmy, that's the fourth personal on Newell. Carter Knox with a chance to do something Arkansas has not done in this contest. That is grab the advantage.
Yeah. Arkansas 22 out of 26 from the free throw line. That is huge.
Jimmy, we talked about it early in this broadcast, the importance of this game tonight.
Yeah.
Of Oklahoma coming to town this weekend for Arkansas to get back in the mix and where it feels like it should be under Coach Cal. Now with a one-point lead, first advantage of this game for the Razorbacks.
It felt like a must-win 2 hours ago, and now it feels like they must finish it off for Arkansas. The press has been good, hasn't always forced a turnover, but it's making Georgia work and taking time off that 30-second shot clock for Georgia to work with.
Dibbery with a path in the finish and a chance for three.
And that's why this kid's going to be an all-SEC guard someday, just a sophomore. And Mike White again. There's different ways to attack the ball to the paint, and this time he just goes one-on-one with Silas Demery. Carter Knox just loses the angle. Big Z doesn't rotate over with enough force to foul and take it away. And Silas Demery with an and one opportunity.
Just a sophomore, 8 points tonight, third leading scorer on the season for the Dogs. And he's elevated his game in his second campaign in Athens after all that was required of him last year. And sometimes forgotten with Asa Newell, Dakota LaFew.
Yeah. 26 starts for a freshman last year. Silas Demery. I Georgia back to that zone. You got to get inside the zone. Wagner with an open look.
In and out. Is that zone designed to entice a shot like that?
No doubt. Mike White's playing the percentages. Arkansas now 3 out of 21 from the three-point line. It's not a high-risk defense at all. to go zone right now if you're Georgia.
Under 4 to play, and over the back of Godfrey. It'll be more Georgia free throws. After our final media timeout, crunch time at Bud Walton. 1 possession game in a must-win contest for the Hogs.
The hope, the anticipation of what this season could still hold for him. And Georgia with a chance for a quad 1 win on the road, which is huge for your resume.
Jake Godfrey at the line, the 1-and-1. Dogs now the double bonus, so he gets the 2. And 1 more coming. Jimmy, it just feels like most games in the league to start this year, they've had this kind of ebb and flow, and it comes down to the final 5 minutes. 1 possession games everywhere between teams that are ranked in the top 5 and teams that are unranked.
Yeah.
Like what we saw earlier tonight. Godfrey missed 2. Lenardi has 12 teams from the SEC penciled in the field of 68 as of today. 9 teams ranked in the top 25, 5 in the top 10. 0 off the glass, and Godfrey, an important rebound. Godfrey. Dump it off to Surreal. Yeah. And a turnover.
Good job by, I believe that was Carter Knox and Thero. Arkansas got that ball doubled, and Georgia tried to find the weak side, and Arkansas did a good job to rotate down and get involved on the backside to get the turnover.
Hogs tonight, Thero with 12, Knox with 11. The majority of those coming in the second half. Ellie Davis. Hogs will keep it. Under 3 to go.
Again, Carter Knox, who just playing with a big heart in the second half, keeping balls alive. And that time he was in a fist fight with 3 black jerseys and keeps the Arkansas possession.
Jimmy now Newell back on the floor with the 4 fouls. Blue Kane checks back in. And a step back. Big Z off the mark, and Kane tangled up with Thero on the left side of the paint. And the foul's going to be called on Blue Kane.
If Arkansas is not getting the offensive rebound, they're getting fouled as an offensive rebound.
And Kane picks up the foul. That is number 5. And Jimmy, you and I saw that foul on Kane a few minutes ago. Was never updated in our score tracker, but that indeed is his 5th.
Yeah, that's a foul on Blue Kane. Initially on Carter Knox, he just ties him up, face guarding him, and wraps around. Kid's a fighter, but doing all he can to keep Carter Knox off the offensive glass, cost him his 5th foul. And Arkansas goes back to the free throw line where they have been almost automatic, 24 out of 28 in this ball game.
Previous play to confirm the right shooter is under review.
Yeah, who was I thought it was Carter Knox that Blue Kane was trying to face guard, boxing off. That's where the foul occurred. Yeah, fouls on.
Yeah, they're double checking to make sure who the foul was on. And you can see Kane was tangled up there pretty quickly. That shot in the air. so Kane's night is over.
Yeah, they want to confirm who the foul was on and who got fouled. So looking at two things at once. But again, 0 in black right there. Face guard wraps up, grabs. With a foul on blue Kane, and Carter Knox goes to the free throw line with a chance to tie this thing up.
Totally different game in our second half tonight here in Fayetteville. Carter Knox has exploded. They'll pace this Arkansas comeback. 9 of 11 at the stripe. And in essence, at times in the second half, Jimmy, I mean, it's felt like a free throw shooting contest.
It has.
One in which Arkansas has won.
I mean, they're at 86% from the free throw line. And that's why it's tied up.
Season high 26 made free throws tonight for the Hogs. It's been that. The second chance points have been the difference.
Well, if you're Arkansas, you would love to have ball pressure right now without fouling. I mean, your defense has been really good in this second half. The second chance points, almost Arkansas has them doubled up. And you don't want to foul, Roy, in this situation. Make the offense earn it.
It's a third on Davis. Shane Montgomery, 67% the free throw line this season.
Transfer in from Mount St. Mary's. Mount St. Mary's actually played at Georgia last year. He had 23 points. So it probably caught the eye of Mike White, right?
That's fair to say.
No
that.
doubt. Another missed free throw by Georgia. That's their 8th miss of the ball game. Arkansas has only missed 4.
Free throw disparity, a major factor. 2 misses for Montgomery.
Same floppy action. Look at Nelly Davis running under that baseline, one side to the other.
Got caught in the air.
He had nowhere to go, Roy. Just keep the offense moving, make the pass, and trust the offense to continue in flow.
R.J. Godfrey, a strong finish. Dogs back in front.
Well, they have been money, have they not, Georgia, for the most part? Hammering that thing inside, off the drive, off the pass.
Godfrey now in double figures with 11. And Wagner takes a tumble inside.
And Georgia comes up with the steal. Nelly Davis tried to force it right there, just really nowhere to go. Drive it right into the hands of Shane Montgomery. And time again in the second half, Georgia playing off of 2 feet with their bigs, driving the ball lane down the pipe, pounding it inside, trying to hold off a furious Arkansas rally in the second half.
2 free throws for DJ Wagner. Kentucky signed him, obviously. Started for Cal last year in Lexington, and now at Arkansas. As the free throws start to add up, Hogs have made more free throws than Georgia has attempted tonight. And that certainly is a winning strategy.
No doubt.
For a team that struggles to score and to shoot at times this season.
Yeah, Arkansas has made 27 free throws with a chance to make it 28. And Big Z checks in for Arkansas at 7-2. I think Cal's looking for a little bit better rim protection on a possible Georgia drive.
He told him earlier today, be an anchor for our defense.
Yeah. Well, this is his chance.
Tied at 63. More drama here in Fayetteville. Demery. No. Newell. No. Thero the rejection.
Big Z bothered the first one, and Thero got the second one.
You see the smile from Wagner as he walks it across midcourt.
And now Wagner is going to run the floppy action. Not so much as a jump shooter, but a chance to get it on the move and get downhill. Big
Z, wide open. Newell grabs the rebound.
And what a terrific rebound by Asa Newell. Out of his area, man. That cat just went and got it.
He's got 16 and 8 tonight, and Mike White's going to call a timeout. What a night it's been in the SEC. Let's get you back to the studio for this timeout.
Boy, that's a great way to put it. After Florida led for, 5 seconds of their game and won it. How about this game in the Pavilion? Devin Barnes misses a free throw. Manny Obaseki from the wing puts them up by 3. The first lead that Ole Miss had is the last lead that they would have. They go on, or rather A&M wins that game 63-62. Crazy.
Gentlemen, you think about what we've seen tonight. Florida and the comeback in Columbia.
Yeah.
Texas A&M and the comeback in Oxford. Arkansas here at home. Both of those games decided by a single point. We're tied. Less than 2 minutes to go and approaching just 60 seconds remaining. What a night this has been.
Yeah, this league's going to always deliver for the next several weeks. And Georgia, the strength of their club has been in the paint all year long. And there are so many big guys, multiple sides, but Big Z was inserted defensively, and then Big Z doesn't get the first block, but Hero does get the second one. And now with 1:03 to go, a tie ball game. Getting to the free throw line is of great value, especially if you're Arkansas. You're 28 out of 32. And you could get your first conference win and breathe hope into an Arkansas program that is desperate, absolutely desperate for their first conference win.
You could feel that sense of desperation in this first half for this comeback by the Hogs. You take a look at the game summary. Georgia at one point led by 15. They were going to run away from it. Cal said not tonight. They've gotten to the line. They've been better on the boards. Carter Knox in the second half. And just enough offense at the stripe. Lawrence nearly turned it over.
There's 1 minute to play.
Tied at 63 and a turnover.
What a play.
Gave it right to Davis.
Yeah, what a play by Nelly Davis. Great anticipation. And you talk about a big-time defensive play by Davis. I mean, Silas Demery is as trusted as there is in this league, taking care of the basketball. Has logged a lot of minutes, but a costly turnover. Look at Demery right here, just kind of a habit pass, just a lazy, soft pass. It won't work in this league. And a gift given to Arkansas with 48 seconds to go.
It was so hard to win in this conference, so difficult to win on the road, and to have that kind of turnover in a tie game less than a minute to go.
Well, I want to bring us back. Remember I told you, Big Z made a shot right before halftime ended, made a three-point shot. And I said it's amazing how many times a shot right before the end of the first half will be the difference maker when you get to the close of the game. And here we are right now. You take away those 3 points that Big Z made, and Arkansas is down 3. Instead, they're tied. That was a huge shot by Arkansas to close out the first half. I know at the time it didn't feel like it, but I've seen enough games to know how big of a shot it can be. So where's Arkansas right now? You're at 48 seconds. You've been magnificent at the free throw line. I don't think Cal's going to draw up a shot right now that's a three-point look. He knows Arkansas has gotten itself back in their game by driving it, getting fouled, getting on the offensive glass. Stay with that right now if you're Arkansas. If you get a clean three, absolutely shoot it with confidence. But Arkansas has gotten himself back in this game by playing a rugged brand of offense.
The end of the first half, this was the moment.
Yeah.
Big Z springs free, and that triple was the first shot from behind the arc. I believe in the first 10 attempts that was drained. And you said at the time, let's see what that ends up becoming. It's the spark that Arkansas fans have been waiting for, it feels like, the entire calendar year of 2025.
Yeah, it could be. It took it from a 15-point game to a 12-point game. And Arkansas has been so good valuing the ball. Only 10 turnovers without Boogie Flan in the game tonight. Be strong with the ball. At worst, if you're up this possession, get to the free throw line.
Wagner picked up his dribble and a dangerous pass to Nelly Davis. Outside to Thiero. Big jump stop. Big traffic. Arkansas's back in front.
Timing errors under review.
Yeah, that clock has to stop when the ball goes through the net. I knew Arkansas was not going to settle for a jump shot. And Thiero, the leading scorer for Arkansas, and really the most physical guy that John Calipari has, with a beautiful display of how to drive with force, get himself in the lane, be strong.
The game clock has been reset to 30.6 when the ball cleared the net.
Yeah, be strong off of 2 feet, and a good job by KB Burdett, Courtney Green, and Jeb Hartness to recognize the clock. And that clock has to stop when the ball clears the net. And Thiero, though, gets to that logo, Roy. Plays strong off of 2 feet. Yeah, 30.4, 30.5, whatever he said. But good job by that officiating crew, because, man, that could be a crucial half second that Georgia just got added to the clock.
Georgia gets it. Now down by 2. If you're Mike White, knowing what we've seen in the second half, we've talked about the success. Inside to Newell, inside to Godfrey. What are you thinking?
Georgia has not made a three-point shot the second half. They made 5 the first half, hadn't made one the second half. I don't anticipate him going for one right now. The strength of his club has been points in the paint, getting on the offensive glass. If you're Arkansas, you do all you can to not switch right now, so you stay matched with positional size. You don't want to switch right now, Roy, and get beat on an offensive putback because you're undersized at the rim.
Here we go. Dogs down by 2. Demery has to force one up, gets it to Newell. Fouled inside. Asa Newell's going to get 2 free throws and a chance to tie it with 14 seconds to go.
Georgia was stuck, and Thiero does a good job of fronting the post. I just don't see the foul. I see Avicic straight up and Thiero straight up. But Georgia does the right thing, pound it inside, drag the officials into the game, and they got a favorable call.
Dogs have missed 4 in a row at the line. And the freshman, clutch.
Yeah, tough kid, right? Tough kid. First year in college ball on the road.
Jimmy, he was talking to himself there. For the tie. Big time. And a timeout called by Georgia. We are tied at 65.
Well, whatever he said himself worked, because he didn't hit rim, man. That was all net. Both teams with a timeout left. Neither team with fouls to give.
Well, we flip the script and we go back to Arkansas, and we just saw DJ Wagner moments ago. Brilliant finish in traffic. Seems like they've had their way in the paint. Final 10 minutes of this second half. What do you like?
Well, it's important to note that the possession arrow is in Georgia's favor, so any loose ball would go to Georgia. Georgia with no timeouts left. Arkansas with 1. You know, if you're Cal, you have to think, okay, is Mike White going to apply some type of full court pressure, not just let us bring it up with ease? You got to talk through that situation. But at the end of the day, Arkansas has got to be very aggressive right now. Drive that basketball. Arkansas has been so good on the offensive glass in this game. Take this shot in time for a guy like Thiero to come in and get an offensive putback and maybe a walk-off for Arkansas. We said 2.5 hours ago, a must-win for Arkansas right now with a home game tonight and a home game against Oklahoma on Saturday to try to turn the corner. No boogie flan. Arkansas has had to remake themselves the last 2 days of practice. I think Calipari has found who his team's going to be going forward. A half-court physical team on the glass that can really guard you and get stops. Can they find a way to manufacture 1 point right now with 14 seconds to go?
Hasn't been pretty at times. It's been physical. A lot of free throws. just trying to find an SEC win in a tie game. 10 seconds to go.
Is Wagner going downhill?
There he goes. Wagner off the mark. Thero rejected. And a foul called with 1.8 seconds remaining.
Well, it's just what I called for. Take the shot with enough time for Thero to come in and clean it up. And that's exactly what Thero does. Now you look at Thero, just a 69% free throw shooter on the year, lower than that in conference play. But the effort by Thero to come flying in right there and takes a hit as he gets the offensive rebound. Georgia with no timeouts left, and Arkansas goes to the line with 1.8.
Demery climbed the ladder to get the last piece
under review
of that basketball, and they're going to double check the timing.
Yeah, when did the foul occur is what they're looking at. John Calipari did exactly what I thought he would do. The most trusted downhill driver is Wagner, and he told Thero, go win the ball game for us when that ball gets on the glass. Wagner goes downhill. Big Z tries to wedge and give Wagner a clean look at the rim, and Thero comes climbing in. The foul occurs there. I think it's right at 1.8. I don't know if they'll change it or not. If you got to check it, because, man, every 10th of the second is crucial. Good job to check it. The foul occurred at 1.8, and here we go.
The clock is correct at 1.8, and the foul is confirmed on 14 Black. 2 shots.
That's the 5th on Asa Newell. His night is done. And at least according to our score tracker, which I got to be honest with you, it's been wrong all night.
Has, yeah.
So Newell remains on the floor. And now let's see. They're going to identify that that's it. Okay. It took a moment. Godfrey checks in. Newell has fouled out. And Thero at the stripe. Jimmy, 6 of 7 this evening. Hogs in front.
I would say that he is Arkansas's toughest kid. And that's who you want on the free throw line trying to close things out.
Short on the second. He'll get it back. Arkansas finds a way.
Boy, both teams